Simple Truth brand makes it easy to find better-for-you products that are free from unwanted ingredients. From fresh produce and snacks to household cleaners and more. You won't find artificial ingredients, preservatives, or harsh chemicals in Simple Truth products. So you can fill your fridge and your home with simple, easy-to-understand choices you can feel good about. Just look for the green Simple Truth circle to get the quality items you want, free from the ingredients you don't want. Simple Truth, exclusively at Baker's.
Why wait to earn the degree you deserve? You have the experience, you have the knowledge. Now is the time to get the credit for the work you've done and earn the recognition you deserve by starting your comeback at Purdue Global. It's time to earn a degree you'll be proud of, a degree that employers will respect. It's never too late. Never too late to come back stronger and move forward in your career. Start your comeback today at purdueglobal.edu. Purdue's online university for working adults.
Episode 76, Ask Us Anything, live from FinCon 19.
Welcome to the Frugal Friends podcast, where you'll learn to save money, embrace simplicity, and live a richer life. Here are your hosts, Jen and Jill.
All right, okay, here we go.
Hello, Frugal Friends. I'm Jen.
I'm Jill.
And we are coming at you live from the podcast recording booth at FinCon 19 in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, and if you don't know what that is, because I'm still a little unclear, it's basically a big conference where people who blog, podcast, create videos, consult
or just
on
love
finances. Money. They all converge here, and we're in D.C. right now. And they've got this awesome podcasting setup, so we're taking advantage of it.
Yes, this is our money mecca, and we are here for the week to pilgrimage with the other nerds.
Oh, that's intense. I don't think that's what I'm doing. I'm watching.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Jen's doing that. I'm mostly taking it all in.
Yes.
But we are so excited to go through your questions.
Yes, we have a special edition of the Frugal Friends podcast today. Totally different from anything we've done. And we invited our listeners from the Frugal Friends community to ask us anything. And we invited them to get weird. And
yes, you did later on in the thread. You're like, come on, people, get weird.
It didn't get as weird as I wanted it to, probably for the best. Yeah. But we have a bunch of questions, and we're going to go through them and answer some of your burning questions.
Yeah, I was so stoked on how many questions people asked us.
Yes.
Once prompted, you guys all had some really great questions. So I will just warn you, there is no lightning round today.
No bill of the week.
There are no sponsors. So we might be pleasing a lot of people, actually.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah.
But we want to answer your questions. So let's get started. Who we got, Jen?
All right. Our first question is from Jennifer, and she asks, what's your why of being frugal?
Ooh. Okay, I'll go first. So being frugal for me, honestly, it's a way of life. But as I have adopted the concepts of frugality more and more, I think it's grown my why because I've started to see more and more what I'm able to do as a result of being frugal. So I will honestly say my why has shifted, as I think it will. I think as we reach new goals, your whys might start to change. For me, it is primarily to get out of debt. My frugal living, my frugal lifestyle is aimed at a certain goal. Although I do not anticipate throwing frugality out the window once I'm debt-free. So I also see all of these tenets of frugality being able to help me even towards things that I want to be a part of my life long-term, like generosity, giving people gifts, being able to pay. Like, this sounds so silly, but it's something that I really want to be able to do. I've done in small measure, and I really enjoy it. Like paying to take people out to dinner or dropping off gifts to people just because, or whatever the case is, just valuing other people. I'm hoping I can do that with my finances because I cut out other non-essentials.
Yes. So our frugality started the same way for our why is to get out of debt. And since getting out of student loan and car debt, it's become a way to, two things. It keeps me from having decision fatigue. So there are so many opportunities to buy. And having a frugal and minimalist mindset keeps me from the stress of making decisions of what to buy, because my immediate answer is always, no, don't buy it. And then I run it through that filter and then say, okay, maybe I'll buy it. And then it also limits financial stress. So if I'm not buying a lot of things that I don't need, I don't have all that money coming out of my bank account, and I can have a good cushion in my checking account, and I don't have to feel stressed about putting my bills on auto debit, because I know there's money in there for my bills to come out and I don't overdraft.
Oh, that feels so good too. the no fear of overdraft.
Yes.
All right, let's move on. So Devin asks, why y'all so cute?
This one really hit home for me.
Yes. It's a super researched question.
Yeah. So I'm going to say it's my mom and my dad play a big part in that. And then also like wearing clothes that fit me. Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a super thought-provoking one. For me, I would say when God was creating me and there were all the descriptor options of super attractive, beautiful, gorgeous, not much to look at, cute. He chose cute.
He picked really cute.
He picked cute.
Yeah.
He slapped it on and was like, this is good enough.
Yeah. Thanks for that question, Devin.
Thanks, Devin.
Yes. All right, Melissa asks, do you break up with a hairstylist or photographer for the sake of frugality?
Okay. This one's a complicated one. Here you go. Yes and no. So, and this will be the answer all throughout.
Right?
It really depends. Not the diaper that you wear in your old age. So, depending on whether that's how you want to spend your money or not. So frugality is all about saving on the things you need or you don't really care that much about but have to purchase so that you can spend on the things that you want to spend your money on. So if it is really valuable for you to have really quality photos of your family taken once or twice a year, then yeah, spring for that. If you're like, oh, this is just an obligation, I don't even know why I do this, I could certainly do this myself, or I don't want to send out Christmas cards, so why do I need to take pictures? Then don't. So also, side note, we are recording in a big lobby and people are clapping.
Someone is passionate about what they are saying right now.
Someone is clapping.
They are not passionate about what we are saying.
They're hijacking our recording. Anyhow, so it really does depend on whether or not that's a thing of value to you and whether or not that's something that you want to spend your money on.
Yeah. I would say if it's something that you feel obligated to do, like we have a family hairstylist who the last few times has not really been doing a good job on my hair, but she's really good friends with my mom and we feel kind of obligated. And I've just made the decision that next time I spend the money to get my hair done, I'm going to go somewhere else, because frugality can also create boldness within you, because it takes boldness to tell your family, like, I'm not getting you all 50 gifts, or like your hairdresser when you run into them and you have a new haircut and being like, I went to somebody new. Like, you have to cultivate boldness.
That's true. And the ability to say no. That's been a sponsor.
Yeah.
So if it's something that is not your best yes, say no to it. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do the thing that everybody else is doing. You don't have to save the way that everybody else is saving or spend the way everybody else is spending.
Yeah.
Okay. So our next question comes from Virginia. How do you find the balance that works for you between paying off debt and enjoying life at the same time? responsibly, of course.
Yes.
Nice add-on there, Virginia.
Yeah. I would say it comes in time. At first, you really are going to be really gung-ho in one direction and really in a non-sustainable way, very like 100% on everything. And in time, you will learn the things that you want to spend money on and learn the things that, I didn't know I would be okay not having this or downgrading on this, but I really am. And just giving yourself the opportunity to see that and realize that. So it comes with time, figuring out what the balance looks like for you, doing some fun things that cost money or important things that cost money, and then some that don't.
So for me, I would say that, well, a couple of things to say about this. Number one is to pick the amount that you want to put towards debt every month. And so at minimum, do that. And then there can be months where you do go above and beyond with debt payoff, but then if there are months where you might have spent a little bit more on something that you enjoy, it doesn't have to be a guilty or shameful thing because you've put the amount of money that you wanted to put towards debt at minimum. Sure, you didn't go above and beyond, maybe like you did the last 2 months, but there might be able to be less shame or guilt in that. Mm-hmm. Also, I really love, we talked about this with Allison Baggerly from Inspired Budget, about how this happens, that on our debt payoff journey, we don't always hit the brass ring every single time. And that there are times where if we were to view it like a journey or a road trip where we pull the car over sometimes, you stop for a potty break, you get lunch, you get back in the car. Sometimes you're driving 30, other times you're driving 80. Who knows? You're switching roads, right? So this is a journey, and if we can most of life is that. If we can have the right perspective on it, then we're less likely to beat ourselves up for it. So if I can see that vacation I went on and didn't put as much toward debt as, I had a potty break, I'm getting back into it, then it doesn't need to be so, oh my word, I didn't do as much as I did. Right. This concept of balance can be so inaccurate. That balance isn't just like everything is equal on both sides. Mm-hmm. It's the fulcrum moving to different places. Yes. And so balance looks different.
Yes. I love that idea of potty breaks. You're not getting like, you're not trying to find like the balance between two lives. You're just you're going in and out. It's the same journey, different parts of the same journey. Yeah. All right. So our next question is from Sarah, and Madeline also had this one. How do you deal with the mental part of being frugal and getting out of debt when things get really tough?
That's a good one, Sarah and Madeline. So for myself, it was particularly difficult in my debt payoff journey when I did not make a lot of money. That was my most difficult mental part of this because I felt like I could not make any progress to it. Things were staying stagnant. I was not making a lot of money. So at that point, and everyone's going to handle it differently, but I had to keep reminding myself it will not always look like this. This is a season, but to be very diligent about putting myself in a position for me at the time to make more money. I knew that when I wasn't going hard at my debt, I was in my master's program. So I'm going to school. It won't always look like this. And friends, being able to talk with you, being able to talk with my husband, talking with other people who are on this journey or might be in a difficult place or might be out of a difficult place, to be able to encourage me and say, this is just a season, this won't be for forever. So I would so encourage you to take advantage of our Frugal Friends Facebook community group, certainly your own local communities as well, but it is really important to have friends in that process because we can get down and sometimes things happen that are outside of our control that can feel really overwhelming.
Yeah, I love this question because this was how I got into personal finance writing. I was having a really tough time. I was really, really down about paying off debt. We were a year into our debt payoff and we had a year to go. And I really didn't know if I could finish the job. and I started writing. I started helping people do the things that I had been doing. And I had some friends over the year that had commented on certain things and admired us for what we were doing. And so I just started writing things down that I had been doing to help other people replicate it. And helping people, and I wasn't an expert at that time. I still had, 25, 30 grand left of debt to pay off. And it was the simple fact of I was a little further ahead than other people, and I was helping the people behind me get to where I was. And that really helped me keep going and sustained me for that last year. So if you can help someone get to where you are, that will, it's worth its weight in gold.
Staying in the space, not allowing the overwhelming part to cause you to give up, but do the little thing. If you can't do a lot, put $1 towards your debt. You're doing something and you're staying on the horse. All right, this next one comes from Catherine. How do you not get too obsessed with finances?
Don't ask me. That's my answer to
because
that.
She's describing FinCon as her pilgrimage to the Mecca of finance.
And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not even going to answer that question. Jill?
Okay, so I love this question because I have started to see that in myself. And it's a new experience where I love looking at my budget. And actually, Jen and I asked this question to each other the other day. What do we love spending money on? And I think it's paying off debt. I do actually love throwing money at debt, which is a little scary because I don't want to be in debt again. I don't know what it's going to be when I'm out of debt. But looking at the spreadsheets and the budget, and I would not describe myself as a type A person, but seeing that I am reaching a goal and I'm close to finishing it, it's starting to become obsessive for me. So, and I have not arrived on this one, Catherine. I'm right there with you. But I will say I have limited myself to looking at my debt payoff, looking at or reconciling my budget until each payday. So we get paid every 2 weeks, and that is when I look at our debt, reconcile our budget, and then I step away from it. So it is putting some limitations on it for me. I mean, certainly if there's something necessary or pressing that I need to go back and look at, then I do that. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, also living life outside of that. Like, okay, I'm going to put this away. There's nothing more I can do with my budget except stare at it.
Right.
And then, and to be able to have people around me to also help keep a temperature of, am I getting too obsessed with, well, how do I pay this off faster, and what other side hustles can I do, and leaving the amount of money that I have coming in kind of where it's at, and growing, like bootstrapping myself there and not giving all of my time to this debt payoff. Like, I also need to live.
Yeah. I'm glad you answered that.
Yeah.
We know New Year's resolutions often don't stick. In fact, on average, they last around 30 days. So if saving money is on your 2024 resolution list, here's a foolproof way to stick to yours.
Switch your phone provider to Mint Mobile. For a limited time, wireless plans from Mint Mobile are $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. That's unlimited talk, text, and data for $15 a month.
For those of you paying close to $40 a month for just one phone line, this means a savings of $300 over the course of the year. We especially like Mint because all plans come with unlimited talk and text and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network.
To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/frugal. That's mintmobile.com/frugal. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/frugal. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
AI might be the most important new computer technology ever. It's storming every industry, and literally billions of dollars are being invested. So, buckle up. The problem is that AI needs a lot of speed and processing power. So, how do you compete without costs spiraling out of control? It's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. OCI is a single platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, and AI needs. OCI has 4 to 8 times the bandwidth of other clouds, offers one consistent price instead of variable regional pricing. And of course, nobody does data better than Oracle. So now you can train your AI models at twice the speed and less than half the cost of other clouds. If you want to do more and spend less, like Uber, 8x8, and Databricks Mosaic, take a free test drive of OCI at oracle.com/strategic. That's oracle.com/strategic. oracle.com/strategic.
All right, our next question is from Lauren, and she asked, do you have a favorite debt-free community member who you recommend other people follow for inspiration and advice, other than the people we've already interviewed?
Yeah, so this is where I'm going to let Jen answer this one, because my friends at this point are the people that we've interviewed. So I don't want to keep throwing at you people you can already look back and find.
Okay.
So
well, I'm
go
gonna
for it, Jen.
first. I'm going to reiterate the people that we love, that we follow and have interviewed.
Sure.
Marilee from Easy Budget, online and on Instagram. Obviously, Allison from Inspired Budget, Andy Hill from Marriage, Kids, and Money, Chris Browning from Popcorn Finance. We love all of those people.
Mm-hmm. We had Joel Larsgaard on the...
Joel Larsgaard from How to Money podcast, another great one. And honestly, we see someone we really like and we bring them on our show.
Right.
We only have people we really like on our show.
It's true.
Yeah.
I love that. Jen usually is the one who gets people on the show, and I love that about how... just your standards, that if we're putting something in front of you, we actually believe in them and
yes.
we agree. Well, we don't always agree with everything, but diversity is great.
I mean, that's why we have people on to share different views. Mm-hmm. So someone that we have not had on, but will have on in the future, is Caroline Wenzel from CarolineWenzel.com. She helps stay-at-home moms bring in income. And I like the Budgeting Wife on Instagram. Budget Girl on YouTube, we're going to have her on the show. Honestly, everybody I can think of, we've brought on the show. And people that I can't think of yet, as soon as I find out I like them, I ask them to be on the show.
I would even recommend going to some of these people's pages or podcasts that we have had on, or that Jen just mentioned, and see who their network is. And so if you're looking to grow your content input, then I'm sure you'll find others through... Yeah. That's called networking, right?
Yeah. The Minimalists. We haven't had the Minimalists on the show, so I love them. If anybody has any connections, shoot me an email.
Nice. Okay, so this next one comes from Jocelyn. What's the most unfrugal thing you're willing to pay for that you might be embarrassed about?
I wanted to include this question because I can say with full confidence that I am not embarrassed about anything that I spend money on.
That is some confidence,
I can
girl.
be embarrassed about a lot of things, but what I spend money on, I have full confidence in. I pay a crap ton every month for a CrossFit membership. Love it. Value it. Sometimes I shop at the regular grocery store and I buy stuff in boxes, and sometimes I just impulse buy at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Proud of it.
Yeah.
I really, because I've gotten so many other areas of my finances under control, if I spend money on something, I'm like, yes.
I can afford this. It's in the budget. So this is something that I have head knowledge of, that if it's important to me and I have the money for it, then I should be okay spending it. I do agree with that. But I will say there are times when I'll buy something or spend money on something, I'm like, if any of my frugal friends knew about this, what would they think? Which I think is where your question is coming from. Honestly, none of it is anything super expensive. It's just usually when I feel like I'm spending money on something because I'm being lazy. So an example of that would be, or even something that is different from how I used to spend money. So when I would go to the grocery store or to purchase supplies for my home, it would be, what is the cheapest possible thing I can get? And that was normally like 89-cent soap at Walmart. And now that Eric and I live in a trailer, I'm a little bit more conscious about my use of things and what we're putting back into the ground. So we've been buying plant-based, all organic shampoos, soaps. To me, it feels very bougie, very different from how I would typically live my life or how I would spend money, but yet it's going towards something that I value. So yeah, I'm going from spending 89 cents to maybe $3, which at face value wouldn't seem like the quote unquote frugal thing to do, but yet it is fitting well into my lifestyle because I am cutting costs in so many other ways.
Yeah. If I think of something that I'm embarrassed about, if I feel a tinge of embarrassment, I'll post it in the group.
Okay.
I will make that commitment.
Same. I love that you asked the question.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that.
Yeah. Okay. So our next question is from Sarah, and she asks, what are your best tips for avoiding feelings of deprivation while getting out of debt?
Yes, that's a good question, Sarah. So for me, I would say being able to have little treats along the way. That can be so simple, though. And this comes with self-knowledge. There's so many things about finances and frugality that get us in touch with other things about ourselves that can help us in relationships and emotionally and professionally. Anyhow, knowing yourself, knowing what is a kindness to yourself, if I can phrase it that way. And so for me, it is buying gum. No matter
I knew we were getting it to gum.
How broke I am, I purchase gum. And it's not expensive. It's a small treat, but it's really important to me. If you were to take away gum from me in my debt payoff journey, holy moly, that would not go well.
Not be a good Jill.
I get it that for some people it's not going to be that. It'll probably be something a little bit more expensive. But I would say allow yourself a few things that you know are going to be a kindness to yourself that will help sustain you in this process. So that might mean one new awesome article of clothing every 2 months, or getting your hair cut at the salon and not trying to hack it yourself. Whatever it is, it's going to be different for everybody, but treats along the way.
Yeah. So let me get psychology-ish on you.
Yes.
Motivation is can be extrinsic or intrinsic.
Yeah.
So I am really motivated by extrinsic factors. So doing something outside of myself to keep me going to that point.
Yeah.
So something extrinsic for me was eating out at one of my favorite quick service restaurants, or low cost, like not a fancy sit down restaurant, but a good amount of money, but like not too expensive. And I would allow myself that once a month, and that would keep me going. If I could reach my goals, then I could have that dinner out. And that was a motivator for me to get to through the next 30 days or 2 weeks or whatever I had set for myself. So especially if I was doing a no-spend challenge, at the end of every challenge, I would treat myself with either like a really fancy latte, like one of those like $6 ones that you look at and you're like, nope. But I would get it after my no-spend challenge. Or I would go out to eat. Like, food is my thing.
Yeah,
if you
don't go crazy because then you're just going to undo everything that you just worked so hard for.
If you took coffee away from me on my debt-free journey, I would not have been a good version of myself.
Exactly. Yeah. We have to have things to look forward to. So whether that's an immediate thing or you can wait longer term, and it can be 6 months from now, I'm going to go on a weekend away with some friends. Whatever it is, definitely pack those into this journey.
Plan it out. Put it on the calendar. Have it be a regular part of your journey, and then you'll never feel those feelings. I mean, you could feel those feelings of deprivation, but you always know there's something on the horizon. There's something coming up to reward yourself. Just plan it in.
Good word. Okay. So we've got another question coming from Sarah. A lot of Sarahs in the group.
They're all different Sarahs.
All different Sarahs. So don't think that we're giving like preference to one Sarah over another Sarah. So this one, she says, how do you divide household chores between you and your guys? Do you feel like it's going well? Would you ever pay someone to do certain things to avoid arguing? Sarah, sounds like it's coming from some personal experience.
Coming from a personal place, Sarah.
I appreciate the vulnerability in your question.
Is your partner in the group too? You want them to see this?
Call in for counseling. No, we do face that.
Yeah.
Do you have anything?
So we really don't have a defined, you do this chore, I'll do this chore.
Co-parenting.
It's really when the other person is done or indisposed, the other person picks up the slack. And it's, I don't know, we've kind of just created this synergy where we, if the dishes pile up, we either live in them or somebody does them, and we don't get mad if one person doesn't do them.
Yeah.
So we've got grace for each other, and we have like servants' hearts towards each other. So that's kind of how we work it. It's very loose. I don't know how it works.
I think you're hitting on something important that backs it up. Before even answering that question, so much of this has to do with how do you and your spouse relate to each other. So that's a whole other thing. Mm-hmm. So much of it is communication ahead of time of whose is whose, and do we feel like that's a fair negotiation. I think the word negotiation has been so lost in marriage that I think it is a helpful tool that we can be using. Either meeting in the middle, or you win this time, if you even want to word it that way, or yes, we will do this way for this time that it benefits you, and then next time we'll do it this way so that it benefits me, if the middle ground doesn't really benefit anybody. So I would say first start by negotiating, and does it feel fair? But beyond that, do I feel happy with what I'm contributing, and is it contingent on what my spouse is contributing? So, and to back this up, here's how I approach this. I do a lot of the typically domestic roles within the home, but I do it because my husband does all of the jobs that I would never want to do. Like, we live in a camper, and he deals with the septic. He fixes the roof. He builds things for me. So he figures out the internet. He does a lot of things that I'm really glad that I don't have to do. I don't want to do. And so I do laundry. A lot of times I will do the dishes. I'll do some of like the floor cleaning, whatever, because I'm happy with, like, I'm glad to do that. And so I'm one of those people who like zips up the zippers on the pants, buttons it, checks the pockets, all that. I do not ask my husband to do those things, because to me, he is going above and beyond in so many other ways that, like, I am happy to serve him in that way, to say I will 100% take care of it. I have decided that I will not hold a grudge if he doesn't do things the way that I want them done. I can do them. So a lot of it is the decisions that we make ahead of time, our perspectives on it. For me, I've decided that I'm not going to get upset if he does something the way that I don't want it to be done, because I do see so much value in what he is bringing to the table.
Yes.
Simple Truth brand makes it easy to find better-for-you products that are free from unwanted ingredients. From fresh produce and snacks to household cleaners and more. You won't find artificial ingredients, preservatives, or harsh chemicals in Simple Truth products. So you can fill your fridge and your home with simple, easy-to-understand choices you can feel good about. Just look for the green Simple Truth circle to get the quality items you want, free from the ingredients you don't want. Simple Truth, exclusively at Baker's.
It's never too late. Never too late to earn a degree. Never too late for a comeback. Between your busy career and taking care of a family, it can feel like there's never a good time to go back to school. But your time is now. Time to start your comeback with Purdue Global. As Purdue's online university for working adults, Purdue Global is dedicated to supporting adults like you who know it's time to earn the recognition you deserve. You have the experience, you have the knowledge, it's time to get credit for the work you've done. You can balance work, family, and everything in between while earning your degree. It's time to move forward in your career, for your family and for yourself, with a degree you're proud of, a degree that employers will recognize and respect. You're worth this investment in yourself to earn a degree you deserve. It's never too late. Never too late to go back to school and come back stronger with an education you can trust. Now is the time for your comeback. Start yours today at purdueglobal.edu.
All right, this is our last question, all we have time for. Amaryllis asks, what was your favorite, least expensive place to travel to or type of travel, i.e. cruise versus road trip?
So I love using Groupon, and we've bought a couple of vacations through Groupon. It's super inexpensive, but yet you can go to a lot of different places. So I haven't been on this trip yet, so I don't know if I could say it's my favorite, but it's the one I'm most looking forward to. We are going on a trip to Europe. We're going to see both Paris and Barcelona, where flights are included, and hotel, and 8 days, and breakfast, and we paid $2,000. So that to me was pretty inexpensive. Obviously, if we want to just go super inexpensive, traveling with friends and getting an Airbnb together and finding one that has maybe like a pool table and a hot tub that you can enjoy, and you all bring meals, that's super inexpensive, and it does feel like a nice getaway.
Yes. I have found that Travis and I vacation the best when things are included. When we have to decide whether we need to spend money on something while we're on vacation, we won't agree. We won't have the time to discuss it in order to come to an agreement.
Yeah.
So we have found paying a premium for a cruise or something that's all-inclusive is worth it to us.
Yes.
And it's not the most frugal thing, but
You don't have to pull out your wallet while you're there.
right. And it's what I value. I will pay more for a cruise or an all-inclusive resort because that will limit my need for a vacation from my vacation when I get home.
Yes. Well, guys, we are out of time. This has been another episode of the Frugal Friends podcast.
Yes, we are so excited. This was a great episode. We had friends walking by, making us laugh. We are on location at FinCon 19 in Washington, D.C., and we will be back to your regular scheduled programming next Friday.
Join us on the Frugal Friends podcast Facebook community group and ask more questions and ask each other questions, because this is fun and we need to be real about how we approach finances.
Yeah. Good word.
Bye.
Frugal Friends is produced, edited, and mixed by Eric Sirianni.
So Eric was going in front of us holding your baby.
He was
I was so hard to keep focused.
Keeping it together. Eric just walking by with that baby. I heard him cry,
you
and
got
then
settled.
Yeah, Eric picked him up, and now.
Oh, there was a question about when are Travis and Eric gonna have
Oh my gosh! Yes,
their own podcast episode, which I think that's a great idea.
That is a great idea. That's gonna come.
Yeah, we will do that.
Yeah, 100%. That's gonna come.
You should hear their voices. Oh, I'm so proud of them this week. So they're both at FinCon with us, and Eric, separate from Travis, for lunch, just got chips and guacamole from Chipotle, and Travis got one taco from a taco truck. I think collectively they spent $5 on lunch, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you guys, you're more frugal than we are." I'm so impressed. Or is that cheap? I don't know. You can buy food. I value food. Oh, but I'm so proud of them. So yeah, you should hear from them.
I'm so proud of Eric for sustaining himself on avocado.
Yes. Our frugality has rubbed off on them so much that they're killing it more than we are.
They're like killing themselves, starving themselves.
All right.
Bye.
See ya.
Simple Truth brand makes it easy to find better for you products that are free from unwanted ingredients. From fresh produce and snacks to household cleaners and more. You won't find artificial ingredients, preservatives, or harsh chemicals in Simple Truth products. So you can fill your fridge and your home with simple, easy-to-understand choices you can feel good about. Just look for the green Simple Truth circle to get the quality items you want, free from the ingredients you don't want. Simple Truth, exclusively at Baker's.
A group of high school students started a project to research a string of unsolved murders.
There is no profile of this killer except for the ones the students created.
What if this guy's still alive? Like, what if he comes after us?
Once you start getting a few tips or a few leads or a few identifications, then the cold case isn't so cold anymore.
This is Murder 101. Listen to Murder 101 on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.